This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon.
What do you do if you want to transport a pair of dumbbells with both your pickup truck and your SUV are in the shop? You use a bike, but not just any bike, a cargo bike.
Literally everyone agrees that cargo bikes are awesome. Doesn't matter if you're moving dumbbells, serving slushies, transporting your kids, or doing landscaping for the city. Doesn't matter if it's a long tail or a box bike, a two-wheeler or a three-wheeler. But there are big barriers to getting one. They're expensive, ranging from $2,000 to $15,000. That's still cheap compared to a car, especially because you don't need gas, but it is a sticker shock coming from a regular bike or a transit pass. They can also be big and difficult to store. No one's putting a bakfiets or box bike on their balcony, I hope. And naturally, you're going to worry more about theft. One solution to the cargo bike problem is getting creative about rental and sharing options. These are popping up in different cities. There's the Minneapolis Cargo Bike Library, CargoB in Boston, and of course equivalents in European cities like London and Berlin. In this video, I'm going to explore not one, not two, but 3 options for renting cargo bikes or bike trailers that we have in Montreal to see how they work, what they do, and whether they can replace buying one of your own. Milo is a pilot project launched this summer, offering a fleet of hardy Danish three-wheelers at neighborhood cafes accessible really quickly using an app. Locomotion is a more decentralized, community-based platform that over the past few years has built up an eclectic fleet of cargo bikes, trailers, and even cars. Also new this summer is a growing fleet of custom-built trailers integrated into Montreal's extensive bike share system. I'm including bike trailers in this video, not just cargo bikes, because there's a big overlap in what they can do.
I'm Michael Wexler. I'm one of the co-founders of Milo, Veloc Cargo, a cargo bike share system here in Montreal, Canada's first. Oh, it's the same dad I saw before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is one of 6 bikes in our fleet. We have been in existence for 2 months now in the Plateau Borough here, in Rosemont-la-Patrie, and in Villeray. We are a nonprofit that essentially offers, a rental service via app, charged by 30-minute periods to anyone that would want to use a cargo bike. This year in 2025, after we finally got a couple of ducks in a row, including some issues with insurance in the last few years, we finally launched, thanks to the help of the Greater Montreal Climate Fund. Our network, although small as a pilot project with 5 locations for the bikes positioned at 5 cafes across the city, was mostly inspired by a Swiss model. So there's a system all across the country of Switzerland called Velo, and their model is really based on these close partnerships with cafes, integrating a new micromobility service for residents at the nodes in the neighborhood that are important to be able to socialize and meet up at. Really makes, I think, a new service more visible and potentially more palatable and interesting. In our current iteration, we rely quite a lot on the cafes to help us in that every day they charge the battery overnight and they bring it back in the morning. So one, they get a certain number of free hours of use of the bikes every month. And then we're trying to do one event at each cafe each month of our pilot network this year. All of these bikes are the same model. It's from a Danish manufacturer called Black Iron Horse, which also plays very well into the motif of our name, Mulot, which references the mule being able to be very heavy and carry big loads and be quite strong. First off, we wanted to offer a 3-wheeled bike, primarily because in North America, where all this stuff is still a lot newer and people aren't as used to seeing or riding cargo bikes, a 3-wheeler really offers a lot of stability. So you have 2 wheels in the front, a big box where you can load a lot of stuff, but anybody can pretty much jump on board and try it for the first time, whereas some 2-wheel cargo bikes sometimes could be hard to ride. And this model, the Ibex, it's their first model that they're really mass producing and is gaining a lot of acclaim in the international bike community. But the box itself has a whole bunch of suspension in it. So for, our Montreal potholes and road issues, it's very stable, it's very nimble, but it's also quite comfortable. So there's 2 really nice cushions on the back, one on the bottom with the suspension. So carrying people is quite comfortable, or children with the security belt. It's $5 the first 30 minutes. You unlock the bike and you get those 30 minutes included. Every 30-minute period beyond that is another $4. And then there is a pause feature. So in the app, you can essentially put pause on your ride, which locks the back wheel so that you can go into a shop, you can hang out in a park, and know comfortably that no one's going to take the bike away from you and steal it while you're on your ride. And we charge you half rate. You'll have some people that use the 30-minute ride or an hour ride, so they'll be charged anywhere from like $5 to $10, which is quite competitive to existing services like Communoto. We've started to notice that we have a couple of repeat users and the occasional one-time user that will take the bike and essentially use it for the whole day. We have a day pass now that costs $50 for unlimited use during the day. So far, our biggest target demographic is young families transporting kids. So there's a lot of rides where people are going to a park and putting the bike on pause for a number of hours, whether their kid is in a soccer game or going to the pool. We've seen a couple of these funny situations where those of us involved in the team or our friends were walking down the street and we see somebody drive by us in a Milo, and almost every single time it is a parent with one or two kids in the front. If you don't want to deal with parking, if you don't want to have to drive a car, if you want to be out in the nice weather. We've had a couple of rides also of folks doing, moving some gear around. On moving day, we had some people move some small elements from their apartments. We had some people do some Costco runs and post about it online. And we're 2 months in, we're starting to see more and more of these different types of trips, but young families still tend to be our primary demographic. It's a pilot project. We're testing out the bike, the tech, the hardware, a whole bunch of different aspects of our operations. The goal definitely is to expand for next year. We're at 5 bikes right now. I think in a perfect world, we'd be able to at least double the fleet. Are there certain bikes that are being used more than others? Can we create maybe a little bit more spacing between them to maximize the use of each bike? How much do we maintain this year's model of working directly with cafes? A whole bunch of different aspects of our operations so that we can then launch, what we think is more of a solidified model for next year, with the idea of growing from years, if we say this year is year 0, then next year is year 1, from year 1 to 5, with a plan for growth along those years.
I'm Jacques Nakuzi, and I live in Plateau Mont-Royal, and I manage the Locomotion trailer on Marianne Street next to Piscine L'évêque. You subscribe, you have to send 2 IDs, and then you can go and book a trailer, and then you go and pick it up. So you can rent, of course, trailers, you can rent cars, and you can rent also cargo bikes. Actually, it's not renting, it's you borrow it. Not all the vehicles are the property of Locomotion. Some are property of individuals that can put them on Locomotion and share them with the other people. And it's for free, but you can give like a small amount to manage Locomotion. You can use it daily, but it's not as seamless as a bike sharing system like Bixie. Specifically for the vehicles like cargo bikes that are expensive and they can be stolen. So you have to go and knock on a person's door and ask this person to borrow it. You have to book it online, but to get it, you have to knock on the door. At a certain point, we had locks that were like electronic, etc., but it was too risky for items that cost $7,000 or $8,000. For the cargo bikes, we manage security, but we manage also the communities. For this trailer here, I help people the first time when they want to install it, when they have to install the small pieces that you have to put on your bike. I come and help them. And this is the big difference between Locomotion or other systems like Bixie, let's say. With the Locomotion, the idea is to connect people, to have a community of people. So it's more about sharing economy than about a business, let's say. It's a bigger step. But at the end of the day, it's more fun because you connect with people. It's not just in the plateau now. You have in Rosemont, Plateau, Sud-Ouest, Verdun, Ville-Marie. Many people use them to go and buy wood and buy things for construction. I have seen people using them to move from one apartment to the other, and I have seen many use cases to get groceries. My neighbor who has 2 cars wanted to buy a tree to plant it in his backyard. He asked me, I need your help, and I'm afraid if I put it in my car, it would break. So I told him, okay, we are going to bring it by bike. And he laughed at me, actually. He didn't believe me. I told him, okay, follow me. We went to Home Depot. He bought the tree, and we brought it here. It was amazing. Actually, I had a video of it, and you could hear him laughing loud. It was really fun. And actually, by car, the tree wouldn't have made it till here. It's open. It's the volume is huge. You know, sky is the limit, as you say. You're not allowed to carry kids in it, but I've seen people carrying kids in it, like or carrying people in it. You have the other options. You can take the cargo bikes, and they are electric, so they are actually done for people who want to move with their kids. Theft was a big issue, and when we started here in the plateau, we knew that in Rosemont they had some theft. Here in Plateau, we wanted to make sure that we don't have, and after a couple of weeks, maybe 2 of them were stolen. One was a big one. We don't have those anymore. It was more for gardening. It was really great, but 2 of them were stolen. Lately, a cargo bike was stolen also. This is sad news. Some of them, we built them, and those, each one is unique, and an artist did a drawing on it. They are less interesting to be stolen because they cannot be sold. Actually, I saw someone with a stolen one. The guy was really using it with his bike, so it's okay. When you participate in building trailers like Locomotion, you see people from different backgrounds join together. So people don't do it for themselves; they do it for the cause or for the community.
These are Bixie trailers, newly available as of this summer. They're integrated into the bike share system, which I think is a first in the world. If any other city has done this, let me know. These fit into bike share docks just like a bike. If you live in a city with a triangle connector like this that goes into a dock that looks something like this, your bike share system is based on Bixie and should be easily compatible with these. That should include New York, London, Chicago, DC, Toronto, Madrid, Barcelona, Boston, Buenos Aires, and a few dozen others. The company behind these systems, PBSC, is now owned by Lyft, but it was originally set up by the city of Montreal. These trailers can be available anywhere in the bike share network, although with only 10 of them at launch, you do have to go out of your way to find one. The goal is to have 350 trailers in the next few years, though, which should mean one at every 3rd or 4th station. You can find trailers with a filter in the app. Press this button on the bottom right, select trailers, and bam, start hauling. I'm sure they could carry more, but the official capacity is 50 kilos or 110 pounds, half the capacity of a Milo. No pets or people. These trailers charge $4 for Bixie members and $8 for non-members for up to 4 hours of use, with additional charges after that. They attach to the seat post rather than the axle, which makes them quickly compatible with almost every bike. You can use it on your own bike, or you can use it on a Bixie, regular or electric, with normal charges applying. If you're a Bixie member, and you should be, taking a regular Bixie is free up to 45 minutes. Longer trips or electric bikes are more expensive. There's a built-in lock and key that allows you to secure it while you're shopping. These services all have their own strengths. If you want to carry kids, you're interested in Milo or the Locomotion cargo bikes. None of the trailers covered here at least work for kids. Locomotion and Bixie have the widest coverage of the city, although Bixie's fleet isn't that big yet. Bixie and Locomotion are the cheapest. Milo is priced closer to a car share, although still a bit lower. Locomotion is the most community-oriented with pros and cons. You can meet neighbors, get help, even build a trailer. But sign-up requires introduction and ID verification. Took me about 5 days. And as far as I can tell, you can only belong to one community. On the other hand, Milo and Bixie are impersonal but quick to join and usable if you're new to the city or doing work outside of your borough. All of the Milo fleet is electric. Locomotion has some electric options, and Bixie trailers can attach to any bike, including Bixie's own e-bikes. Bixie's killer advantage is being able to return the trailer to any station rather than the same location like Milo or Locomotion. Mulos can move the most weight. Bixie trailers have about half the weight capacity, and Locomotion depends on which bike or trailer you book. Cargo bikes and trailers handle differently. Trailers feel like riding a regular bike, just with an extra limb they have to pay attention to. Mulo's three-wheeler is quite stable, but it has a very wide turning radius. You can also tell when you're riding on a side slope with the left or right side lower in a way that you can't so much when you're riding a regular bike. The exciting thing about rental or sharing options is that they get around the 3 big barriers of cargo bikes: the large upfront cost, the difficulty storing them, and worrying about theft. Bike trailers aren't as expensive to buy, but they can still be awkward to store and prone to theft. Whether these three options can replace buying your own depends on your needs. It's harder to replace a bike or a trailer that you would use daily, like taking your kids to school. The price adds up quickly, and none of these systems are built around guaranteeing availability at the same time and place every day. But they're much more competitive if you want to use them once or twice a week for groceries, or taking your kids to the park or sports, or if you have less common odd jobs like moving a tree. Using a Milo once a week for an hour plus an hour pause is $13. It would take 15 years of using it like that once a week to match the cost of buying one for yourself. Milo's actually not available during the winter yet, but let's ignore that for the math. Think of these kind of like car share services like Communauto here in Montreal. Do they meet everyone's needs? No. Do they meet lots of people's needs? Yeah, they do. They're also useful for getting people familiar with cargo bikes and trailers to decide whether to buy one themselves. A lot of people are in the position where they can handle the cost of a cargo bike, but they just need to know beforehand whether it fits their needs so they don't regret it. When I parked a Milo once, I heard a mom say to her son, "I was thinking we could one day commute in a bike like that." Thanks for watching through to the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and a special thanks to our supporters on Patreon.